Good evening, everyone. Farrell here for a very awesome edition of Farrellism tonight, and we're just waiting for our guest star to get in. He's coming from a long distance, so stay tuned. It's going to be fun. We are getting him in right now, and hopefully we do not have any technical difficulties like we have done in the last few videos. But I just want to say thank you for everyone who's tuned in who has handled through our technical glitches. You can't always get them right the first try, and it's not always perfect. But when you get down to the meat of everything, it's worth it. So just hang in there. We'll be right with you. See what we got here. Still waiting for our friend to accept the invitation. And then we can bring him on in and get started. Okay. While we're waiting for him, he's coming from a long distance, and he has a great insight on what we're going to be talking about tonight. It's actually kind of ironic that he's coming to talk about this topic, specifically with me. So when he comes in and we talk about what we're going to talk about, it's going to be pretty amazingly ironic. So I hope you guys find and share in that irony as well. So let's see if we can get him in right now. It looks like we are still waiting. Here we go. We need to bring them in camera. It looks like I cannot bring him in right now. I don't know why. So let's see what we can do to fix that. Bear with us for one moment. There we go. We're adding him into this live video. So get ready, ladies and gentlemen, and hold on to your hats. We are going at the speed of the internet. So will it work right now, or will it make us wait? Let's find out. Come on, Facebook. We've got a special edition of our live videos tonight. We need you to work. So give us grace and give us this. Bring our guest star in. It is just saying adding. We do not like that. We want this to work. He wants this to work. And I want this to work. So it will work. Whether it takes us multiple tries and I have to keep introducing myself and our guest. We will get this. I promise you, ladies and gentlemen. Okay. Let's try this one more time. Arthur, if you can hear me, I am trying. There we go. We are connecting. Let's get started. If it would bring him in. Let me see if I can say the magic word that'll bring him in. Open sesame. Shazam. By the way, these are all trademarked, so I did not make those. And here we go. I was beginning to wonder if I'll let you through the doors. Yes, it did, but like all good things, it was worth the wait. So let's get started. So for those that are watching, my name is Farrell, and this is a Farrellism video tonight. And let's introduce our guest, Mr. Arthur Nascimento, coming to you all the way from Brazil.
Hey,
Arthur, would you like to?
well, like Farrell said, my name is Arthur. I'm 26 now, and I'm from Brazil. So sorry for my English. It's a little bit rusty, and that's it.
Well, Arthur, I'm sure our audience will love your accent and bear with us as we go through this fun topic tonight. So tonight's topic, Farrellism, is called friendship. What is it? What's its impact? So, what better way to start off this video and this topic than using an example? So let's take our friendship. Junior year. I'm the new kid on the block. You're very seasoned, you're still new, but you have a little seniority over me, and so one fateful day in physics, let me ask this gentleman. So I ask you to be my physics partner, and then the rest just kind of explains itself. You invited me over to your house, and we watched movies on the projector with your brother and his girlfriend. Kind of happened, am I right?
True.
Am I right, Arthur?
Uh,
Oh yeah.
yeah, it was cool. The video is cutting
Yeah.
a little bit. I think it's the internet.
Okay.
Well, let's
Okay.
go.
Yes.
Uh,
Got it. So, anyways,
you
can you hear me? Can you hear me okay, Arthur?
sorry, didn't catch it.
No, I was saying, so I was just saying, the rest is kind of history. We went over it a bunch of times, and we watched those movies on the projector with your brother, his girlfriend, the four of us on the couch.
Oh yes, that was a fun time.
Yeah. So, we built
It's
quite a
cool. It
friendship.
was cool. You, Andrew, the other guys, Rob from physics class. It was a fun time, to be there and to take these classes with you, like a American kid.
Oh yeah. We gave you some of our tricks, and you gave us some of yours. We learned a little bit about Brazil, and you learned a lot about America, and we enjoyed those times. But unfortunately, all good things came to an end, and you had to go back to Brazil after graduation.
Yeah.
And so,
I hope one
yeah,
day I still come back. You know,
yeah. No, we'd love to have you back.
dream.
I know.
Let me see
Yeah,
if I.
yeah. Now, even though you're back in the yes, we will wait for you to improve your
Still
connection.
work with a little bit of pain.
Okay, perfect. Good.
I think it's better. All right.
Okay, perfect. Yeah. So, you know, we will now move on. So yeah, we don't get to see each other that much now because you're across the country, but we still keep in touch. But luckily Facebook is around because we can keep in touch on here. Otherwise, we'd be paying a lot in cell data and that would not be good. But the bottom line is keep in touch. The friendship that we developed, even though we're no longer hanging out in person, it's there. And I gotta say, to use this example in a context as we go into our video tonight, your friendship along with Andrews and all my friends, specifically you though, really changed my life. I was a new kid on the block. I didn't really know anybody, and you really made this kid feel like he was at home and that he could count on some people, especially all those morning breakfasts in the cafeteria and with Paulo. It was a lot of fun.
Uh,
And yeah, Paulo. So yeah, that kid was funny. But anyway, so with friendship,
it was fun.
what does it mean? So a friend, someone you hold in high regard to, it's someone that you can count on. It's someone who you can trust, you can talk to. They're there for you no matter what. And that's an important concept because not everybody has friends. And even if you can have at least just one friend, someone you can count on outside of your family, they say sometimes friends are better than family, and that's sometimes the case, sometimes it's not. But the bottom line is having friends in your life is important because no matter what you're going through, with them along your side, there's nothing you can't accomplish, and it makes things easier. It just lets you know that you have someone. And with that being said, I will throw it to you, Arthur. What do you think about the definition of a friend? What does it mean to you?
Well, for me, friend is like it's a person that when they are like happy and all the situation is good, it's easy. That's that doesn't define a person as a friend, but it's in the bad moments that the people that sticks with you are true friends, you know. Who are the person people that surrounds you, you know, and who are who basically. But being a good friend is being with the person in a bad mood, bad days, good days, and
Yeah. No, I totally Arthur, you're breaking up a little bit. Is there any way that just a tiny
let me see.
Arthur, yeah, you're breaking up a little bit. Can you improve that connection a little? I know you're all the way in Brazil and the Wi-Fi and the
A little
connections,
bit.
but can you improve? Okay. Yeah. We wanna be able to hear what you have to say. But
Did you hear what I said, or you want me to start
you
over?
broke up you broke up a little. Just repeat what you were saying, maybe talk a little slower.
I'll start over then. And for me, being a friend is, you know, being with the person in the bad days, the good days, and trying to help, being true with that person. Because, well, you know, being a friend is not just saying what the person wants to hear. You need to say the truth, even though it hurts sometimes. And that's, you know, the person doesn't necessarily is gonna like that, but that's being a true friend, you know. Not only sticking with someone in the good days and the happy days, and the bad days. Actually, it's a good proof of who you are surrounding with, if that person is really your friend or not. So I think it's a good thing, you know. And for me, being a friend is almost as you like. The comparison I usually use is like a brother or sister, you know, like you want to be in a brotherhood situation, you know, with the person that you like, you know.
Yeah. No, I agree. They're basically your family members. They're your adopted brothers and sisters. And you said something that really resonated with me. You said that your true friends are those that are around and they stick around when it counts most. And that's important. And the first analogy that came to mind for me, if you go back to Greek mythology or even during the times of the Romans, when there were those, armies leading up and they were marching behind one leader, they were almost, when it came to their relationship to their leader, they were almost friends because at the end there might be times when, even going back to King Arthur, it's like, if anybody wants to go now, no one will think any differently of you. And every most of the time everybody stands there and like, sire or king, we're with you until the end. And that's the comparison I like to connect that to, because is that friends, they're like your followers, the people in your army. When the battle's about to get real, and the people that are still standing and ready to put down their lives for you and for what you believe in, if you break that down to its core, that's really what friendship is all about. And you could even go as far as saying that's where friendship really started, even before there was a word for it.
True. I completely agree with you because in this situation, there is these hard situations. All the people they are not your friends. They just gonna run away and left you alone, leave you alone. That's pretty much it,
Yeah. And if it's one thing I've learned, and I'm sure you can agree with this,
right?
whether they're a friend or not, a lot of people, you can tell who's really your friend too by someone who's always coming around asking for something. Then maybe they're not necessarily your friend, but someone who's coming around saying, "What can I do to you?" Or, "Hey, are you doing all right?" Someone who just checks in without a reason, or someone can just call you without having a reason to say, "Hey, how are you?" Like, a few days ago, I called you. It's like, hey, how are you doing, Arthur? Now it's like, hey, Arthur, can you do this for me? Or hey, Arthur, can you do that for me? Or hey, Farrell, can you do this for me? Just being able to not have a reason, not have an agenda. That's also what it means to be a friend. Someone who's willing to just throw everything on, because at the end of the day, you don't really choose your friends. They're like your name. They choose you, and life just brings you and who you're meant to be friends with together, and that's just how the story goes.
True, man. That's it.
Yeah,
All set. Just a little pause there, Andrew. Sorry, man, I'm not available.
hear that? Arthur's off the market. He can't be in a civil union with you or a relationship, whatever the political term is. I apologize if we're not saying that correctly. But Arthur, I'm sure he would more than happy to be with you if he was single. But yeah, that was a good pause right there. And so I see we got some more people tuning in. So let's keep going. So we have talked about our friendship. We talked about how we met. We've talked about what the definition of a friend is, and we kind of started talking about, without actually labeling it, how does it impact you? How does it impact your life? And so, they always say it's the company that you keep that defines you. Or you might hear people say, hey, you're doing great, you have a great support system, keep it up. It's like, you look at it, people who don't have that support system, they don't have those friends. Most of the time you hear people talk about, maybe they don't have both parents, or maybe they do have both parents, or maybe they are divorced, or maybe they live with their uncle or their aunt or their grandmother or their grandparents. But you don't hear too much about friends. Same thing there. Like, people who don't have friends, maybe they're not as successful, or maybe they're not as happy. Being able to have that person in your life, it impacts your life for the better, because you could be going through the most negative of things and still be positive, because you have people there to pull you out from the dirt, and they pull you up and keep you from falling under, because they're there for you. And someone who may not have that support system, it's going to negatively impact their life, because there's no one there to really help them up. Every now and then we'll fall, but we need someone to help us get up. And that's really important. Like, I could say right now, for example, I have some friends that are going through some stuff, and I'm glad to be there for them, because I know that if I wasn't there, I don't even want to think about where they would be. And I feel the same myself if I was going through something. What do you think, Arthur, when it comes to friendships and how people like that in your life really impact you depending on what you're going through, or whatever it may be? What are your thoughts, Arthur? I'll throw it over to you now.
Well, yeah, it's basically what we say, like you need to surround yourself with people that really care about you. It doesn't matter if they like it's your friends, your parents, your brother, sister, your family. You know, you need to surround yourself with people that cares about you. Maybe sometimes your friend's gonna care about you more than someone of your family. It's a normal thing to happen. But yeah, it's like you're gonna get through with some really hard situations in life. So you need really to be careful. I think the most problem here is to choose wisely who's gonna be your friend, you know, because a lot of times I see people choosing friends because the person is, you know, I don't know, but some other like ideas that should not be important, you know. So you should choose your friends wisely because you never know who truly is your friends unless something bad happens. Then you're gonna see who are your really friends. So man, I mean, back to you in everything. You it's very hard to take decisions to decide stuff just by yourself, and you always people that you think are your friends but they are not. Maybe that's gonna be bad for you. So being surrounded with friends, real friends, can only impact like um very positive in your life, in your decisions, because those people want the best for you. Even though sometimes you don't want the best for you yourself. We sometimes we try to like cheat on us, you know, giving excuses for doing something that's gonna be good for us, but we don't really want to do. So friends are for that too, to correct us and help guide us in the right direction, you know, because a lot of times it's easier to see what's right and what's wrong when someone is outside of the situation, like as a friend would be, you know. Sometimes you don't know if you're doing right or you're doing wrong because you're inside the situation. You cannot see from another perspective, and your friend could give you like a very good advice on that, you know. So it's always good. It's always positive, and it's never gonna be a bad thing to be surrounded with friends because they impact you in everything you do, in everything you think, maybe, and who you are. Because if you're surrounded with people that like wanna really win life and take the most out of it, you feel, how do I say, you feel impelled to do the same thing, you know.
Yeah.
So yeah, if you're surrounded by people that are always negative and think about bad stuff, it's gonna depress you, I think, at least.
Yeah.
And yeah,
No, I agree. You hit on some great things that we definitely want to bring up. It's like you want to surround yourself with positive people. My main theme with a lot of my videos and my quotes is positivity. You want to surround yourself with the people who are feeling the things that you want to feel, the epitome. Now, don't get me wrong. With that being said, every now and then we have our down moments. We have moments where we're really low. That doesn't necessarily mean that we're a person people don't want to surround themselves with. It's just, and that kind of ties into what you were also saying about how sometimes being the person who's going through something, or you're experiencing something, you may have a clouded judgment, or you might be emotionally compromised, whether it's should you go after this person in your life that you want to date, or should you get back together with your ex, or should you take this job, or something small as like should I go out on the ice rink, I'm a little nervous. Is the people that are there for you, that are your friends, are going to help give you the right advice, and they know what's right because number one, they're not going through it, or they have gone through it, so they're more level-headed at that point, so they've either gained the experience to help you, or they actually are not going through it, so they have more of a, hey, from this perspective, this is what I see, or this is what you need to do. And so they're always there to be like, they're like our conscience, our voice of reason, except they're a physical manifestation, something that we can touch, someone that we can touch, someone that we can see, and they're there to help us. And sometimes we need that because we're not always clear in what we want or what we see, and that's a very important thing. So I'm glad you touched on that. That's a universal thing that you see around the world, especially now more than ever. People really need friends. With everything going on, we're all in this together. Even if it's simple as making a new friend every day, just saying hi to someone new, but it's important to have those people in your life.
yeah, of course. It's always important to have people that surrounds you that lift you up when you're down. You're not always, even though you're a happy person, you're not always happy. It's impossible, you know. Example, someone dies in your family. How gonna you're gonna be happy, So it's important to have these people to they are gonna lift you up, that cares about you and gonna be there with you.
Yeah. And as we get to our closing thoughts with this, I'm gonna go back to you, but I wanna leave I wanna say this one last thing, then I'm gonna let you have the rest of the time for a minute. That we've already mentioned this in our first video. When I did a video with Andrew, we did coping with loss, and we brought up a good friend of ours, Rob Emmons. He was a great friend. We went to school. Unfortunately, he passed away. But one thing that I always thought highly of him for was that he always knew how to be a good friend, and he always knew how to surround himself with those positive people. And he just brought together a diverse group of people. And the one thing that I further noticed with that, when I was at that vigil, now I would have loved to been him to been there. Obviously, there wouldn't have been a vigil, but At that vigil, I saw so many people, so many different groups of people, so much of a big support system that he had. He brought together an amazing group of friends, and it just goes to show you, you have, like, we all have the power to really bring that together. Like, I know, for example, I have a bunch of friends that never knew each other from Adam, and I introduced them, and now we're this, all of us, yourself included, we're this big close knit group of friends. But like I said with him, I was at that vigil and I was like, wow, he really knew how to bring people together. And that's something I said in my speech, where it was like, hey, the definite company we keep, that's what defines us. And it's a far better thing that I do that I've ever done before. That's Charles Dickens right there. And when I said that, I was thinking about how good of a person he was. And then just looking around me, and I said, the most important thing right now is everybody here around us. He made that happen. So any of us have that power. We have our friends, we bring them together, they help us, we help them. It's a two-way street. And so I just wanted to touch on that. We talk a lot about that, but I think that's a good example. And once again, I'll say rest in peace, Rob. I hope you have found your peace and tranquility up there in the stars and in the heaven. I really do. And with that being said, as we close up here, Arthur, I'm going to throw it back to you for any closing thoughts you may have, anything else you want to say. This has been a good video so far, though.
Yeah, yeah. In in these bad times, we see the legacy that person leaves. So when he passed away, we all could be able to see the legacy he left in this world. To see all these people that cares about him, together, and how much he touched lives when he was around. So these sometimes bad moments, um, like this, we should take a little bit to reflection. Um, what are we gonna like? What are we doing with our lives? Are we impacting others? Are we helping others? Are we being good friends? Um, you know, even good neighbors. Because sometimes just the simplest things we don't know, we don't do. Even like in the pandemic, I see people, a lot of people actually, that it's seeking and helping others, and that's a good thing. I think it brought us, to another kind of understanding, and seeing that a lot of people has needs that maybe we don't, and try to help out, even though maybe we are not even friends with the person, but we have to look forward, not just to ourselves, but we have to look to other people and try to make a difference in everything we do, in everywhere we go. So with that being said, I don't even need to comment on friends, because you should be like you should do this to someone that you should be a good person to someone that you don't even know. So to a friend, you know, it's it's gonna reflect on your friendship to a lot of people, because if you seek to be this person that help others, and try to do the best of all the days, you're gonna be successful in life. You're gonna be a good friend, and that's it. I think it's a life objective. We try to seek to be better people.
Yeah, to be better than we are, to really be me. And you never know what someone's going through, so say hi, make a new friend. It could be simple as going up to a kid in physics class and asking him if he wants to be partners, or a kid who comes with a group of friends who you knew from your childhood in an apartment complex and comes over to you off his bike and says, hey, let's be friends. And that person's in this live chat right now. Or the I'm gonna throw this into a movie, and then we can close up here. For those that have watched Christopher Nolan's The Dark Knight, when Bruce Wayne's telling people who he is when he's in the Batman suit, he'll literally, there was a scene at the very end of the last one, and it was with Gordon, Commissioner Gordon, and he's like, before you do this to save everybody, how do I know who you are? Who are you? Instead of telling him who he is, he's like, it doesn't matter who I am. It matters what people can do for each other and be friends. And it can be something as small as putting a coat over an upset boy's shoulder to let him know that the world hadn't ended yet. And that made him remember the day that Bruce Wayne lost his parents and he was a sad little kid, and he put that coat over him and he told him everything was going to be all right. And that's when their friendship started. And so that's the smallest act of kindness that anybody can do. You know, whether it's giving someone $1 if they need it for something, or just helping someone out. Like, regardless, even if you don't know the person, don't be afraid to chime in. You never know what someone's going through. And that's the thing. We're all human. So nothing about us makes us any different or foreign to where we can't go up to someone random and say hi, make a new friend, or see what they're doing. That like you said, that's life's objective right there.
And I mean, it was talking about talking about us and stuff. It was really fun to meet you guys because it was in the my last year in America. So the first year I was there, I almost didn't make any friends. Mostly because, well, it was my first year, so I was still learning a lot of English and I couldn't talk a lot. So the second year I could talk better, and even though I had like all this accent, I could be able to communicate and make friends with you, Andrew, Rob, and all the other kids, you know, from our classes. And it was a really fun year to be
Yeah.
in class too. It was fun. It was fun.
Oh yeah, and we loved you the same, man. We didn't care that you couldn't speak that well of English. We saw you as one of us. You were one of our friends, and we wanted to bring you in the group, and that's what we did. And I'll never regret those moments that we had together. We shared some fun times, and we still do now, even virtually. And I know this won't be the last time that we see each other. So I'm glad you brought that up. You've been a good friend in my life, and you've really made a difference, and I'm glad. And I thank you. And hopefully that I was able to do the same for you and, Andrew, Rob, everybody.
Yeah, you definitely did, and the other guys, yes, did as well. And I wish I can meet you guys again in the reunion.
Oh yeah, yeah,
That'll be
you know it.
sometime.
Yeah, we will. But I don't want to take too much of your time, and I think that kind of concludes up our thought. But just want to thank everybody that tuned in. Most of all, Arthur, I want to thank you for your time on this Farrellism video about friendship. If anybody wants to see this video, it's going to be up after this. It'll also be on Instagram and YouTube. So for me, you can either follow me on my personal pages, or for Facebook, it's at Farrellism. YouTube, it's Farrellism, and Instagram, it's at Farrellism15. And then Arthur, if anybody wants to reach out to you, where can they reach you?
They can reach me at Arthur underline Fitzner on Instagram.
Perfect. Awesome. Well, this has been a Farrellism video, a great one at that. Thank you again, Arthur. Thank you those who tuned in. And this video will be up for anybody that wants to watch. And most of all, I hope you learned something from tonight. Having friends are important. Go make some friends if you have them already. Keep them close. Never stop learning. Always keep staying positive. And thanks for watching. And I hope you guys have a great night and have a wonderful weekend. And I'll catch you later, Arthur.
All right.
All right. See you later.
Yeah.